All right, to install UTM, let's go ahead and open up a terminal window. Now I'm going to use brew to install it. Brew install UTM. All right, now that we have it downloaded, I'm going to go ahead and close my terminal window and just click on UTM. And it's going to go through this install process. Let me pull down this window. Click on open and it starts up UTM. Probably the next step is to be able to install UTM is to go ahead and download the ISO. To do that, you can look at the various options you have from the UTM website. They have a gallery of all kinds of different operating systems that are pre-built. The one I'm particularly interested in is Windows 11. So I'm going to click on that one. And it kind of gives you some information here. It uses 8 gigs of RAM, 20 gig storage, VGA, and it's going to install Spice Tools. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Guide. And when you click on Guide, it says to download Crystal Fetch. This so you can more easily download the ISO that has everything pre-built. And it has a set of instructions at the bottom of the link to download Crystal Fetch. And essentially it tells you what to do once you've downloaded Crystal Fetch and you try to install it using UTM. So let's go ahead and click on Crystal Fetch. I'm going to open it through the App Store. And now I'm downloading it. Crystal Fetch is installed. I'm going to close the App Store here. I want Windows 11 and Apple. I'm on a Mac Mini M2 Pro, so I'm going to use Apple Silicon. English is my language in the US, and Windows 11 is my operating system that I want to download. And this tells you what version it's going to download. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on download. Accept the license agreement, and we'll be back in a minute. Okay, already finished downloading. I'm going to go ahead and close Crystal Fetch. I'm going to go back to the instructions, and essentially we're going to open up UTM, and it says to create a new virtual machine, virtualize, Windows, do not select import VHDX image, make sure to have the drivers checked off for Spice Tools, and we're going to browse to the ISO that I downloaded. Hit open. And it says, okay, so you've got several options. You can pick the RAM and CPU cores you want to use. I'm going to leave it defaults for everything. So let's go ahead and click on continue here. So I'm going to give it 4 gigs of RAM, leave it default. Default storage 64 gigs, that's fine. And then you can pick the shared directory you want to share from your host machine to your VM. I'm going to click on browse, and I actually want my downloads directory. Click continue. And then it gives you an overview of the various settings. If you do want to override them, you can have it open up the VM settings after you've created it. But I'm just going to go ahead and click on save. Let me close the instructions here. Let's see if there's anything else. Hit save, follow the Windows installer. So this is going to start up the Windows installer, and that's fine. So let's open up the window here. Make sure that when this starts up that you actually capture the mouse and you tap a key in there. Otherwise, UEFI is not going to boot. So you have to actually click inside the window so you can start up, and then hit a key on your keyboard so you can install the setup. And essentially from here on, it's your standard Windows setup. So I'm just going to hit next. I don't have a key, so I'm going to indicate that. I want Windows 11 Pro. Hit next. I accept. I accept the license. Hit next. Use all of it, and it's going to go ahead and install Windows. We'll come back after the installation. Okay, looks like the installation has completed. It's going to go ahead and restart Windows, well, specifically Windows 11. I should probably detach the drive so that it doesn't continue trying to boot from the ISO. But at this point, it should automatically start up Windows 11 for the first time at least. Here's your typical Windows startup screen for the first time. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and go through the initial setup of Windows 11. Okay, now I should be able to see my mouse pointer. So you notice that when I'm on my Mac, the mouse pointer is black, but when I move to the VM, it's white. So that tells me it's capturing it. I'm going to go ahead and log into my VM. And it looks like we're ready to go. All right, so this is where I'm going to end the video. My goal was to show you how to use UTM on an Apple Silicon Mac to install Windows 11. This way I don't have to use Parallels or something that's paid for. You just, go ahead and install this open source tool. And I can now use Windows 11 to do software development or install tools that I can't otherwise run on macOS without having to, have a full-fledged Windows machine. I hope you found the video useful. Thank you for your time. See you next time.